Welcome to the Dental Breakdown Show with Christian White. Mr. White is the CEO of White & Associates Practice Consulting. Better business, better dentistry. This podcast strives to help break down the current and everyday issues within the dental industry. In each podcast, we discuss a topic on dentistry with respected industry professionals, dentists, and other relevant special guests. Our goal is to help provide you valuable insights for your dental practice. We thank you for listening today. From the dental chair to the beach chair, wherever you are listening, sit back, relax, and enjoy the Dental Breakdown Show. Now take it away, Christian.
Let's welcome our guest to the podcast today, Jeramie Eimers, VP of Practice Finance at U.S. Bank. Thank you for being a guest on the Dental Breakdown Show today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Jeramie, this is going to be awesome. I know that you've got a lot of great information that you're going to share today, and our listeners are really going to want to learn more about you. So let's get started. I'm excited.
Awesome.
So let's start out with this. Why don't you maybe give us a real short bio about yourself and just tell everybody a little bit about you?
Sure. So I'm Jeramie Eimers. I'm a business development officer at U.S. Bank in the Practice Finance division. We specialize in assisting dentists throughout the United States. I've been helping dentists for over 20 years now in Practice Finance. And this division has evolved into a group within the bank that has helped thousands of doctors with their financing needs. So if you're looking for a banker with experience and knowledge, you can find that with me.
Wonderful. That's great. Where do I sign up? That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
So listen, tell us a story, okay, of all the people in the world you could have worked with. You're working with dentists. You know, how did all that come about? There's got to be a really good piece there.
Yeah. So right out of college, I did an internship, ended up getting a job with a healthcare leasing company. And the company was owned by Schwann's Ice Cream of all companies. And we became really niched into the dental space and the leasing in the healthcare industry, through leasing. And through that, we helped a lot of dentists, and we found ways to be part of their business, their lives, and their financial solutions. And through that, I guess you could say I helped start the Practice Finance division at U.S. Bank. It was a byproduct of that, and been doing it ever since. So ironically, started in the leasing side and helped develop the division that U.S. Bank has today, helping finance doctors across the country.
Nice. So you kind of started from nothing, and you really built it into something.
Absolutely. It
Nice.
was a napkin idea.
That's a great idea at work, Jeramie. So let me ask this question. So Jeramie Eimers, here you are, banker, practice finance extraordinaire. How do you go about bringing value to the dentist that you work with?
In short, I would say it's knowledge and experience. I'm a trusted advisor to the clients. I can answer all their questions on the first conversation. I don't have to go ask someone else and get back to them. Over the past 25 years, I've worked only with dentists. That's a value that you just don't see with bankers, in other branches. I've seen about every possible structure and situation that you could ever imagine. And I ask a lot of questions, and those questions help the doctor, go through their due diligence and find the solutions as they're navigating through the process and the options available to them. And, I think the value part is just all the things that I've been able to witness over the last 20 plus years, whether it's fraud, identity theft, misrepresentation, cash flow issues, inflated values. There's been natural disasters where we've helped our customers proactively. The list goes on. And, I really take pride in starting with the customer and finishing with the customer and not handing them off to multiple people through the process. And that really makes it unique compared to others. And those doctors really appreciate that hand holding through that process and having an expert with them from start to finish. So,
You said an interesting piece, hand holding. In today's marketplace, most people, you get shoved off to one person and then you get shoved off to another person. And the person I originally talked to, I may never get to see them again.
yes,
And
absolutely.
so I think, I think you would agree with me on this, that, the business that you're in is really the relationship business.
It absolutely is. And it's relationship, and it's just knowledge and experience where I can share prior experiences and have gone through that, so they don't make those mistakes that others have maybe made, before them. And you're right. In today's world, it's really common for someone to, work with the doctor up front and then hand them off. I call it a baton, on a track race. And, a lot of institutions will, treat their customer that way, and the customer gets handed the baton to the next person and the next person. And I just don't believe that's a really, really positive experience. And, customer experience is really important to me.
Yeah, I would say that, you're in the experience business, not the loan business when it comes to working with a lot of these dentists.
Yeah, absolutely. And that experience can save them thousands of dollars in the end, by making the right decisions up front.
Man, because I've seen it go the wrong way, and it is not fun when it goes the other way.
Absolutely.
So that's a great piece that you provide there. I also think too that when you're working with someone and you're trying to figure out, do I buy a practice? Do I relocate my practice? Do I add on to the practice? In terms of the structure of a loan, most dentists don't understand that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's where the questioning comes into play, and you really become an advisor and sit back and I ask the questions. And as we go through that planning process, we're really looking at what's their future goals.
Mm-hmm.
And based on their responses, we can help them make best decisions up front and then put a product in place that helps them achieve those goals.
Mm-hmm. It's always nice to be part of the solution.
Absolutely.
It's nice to be included in on that, and so that there's good communication going on. So as the customer, I'm like, okay, I understand why you're doing this. Okay, I get that. And if you don't, I can ask a question. Someone will actually take the time to answer it.
Absolutely.
It's always nice. It's not a good thing for me to say, but that's kind of rare in this world.
Unfortunately, it certainly is.
The Dental Breakdown Show, sponsored by White & Associates Practice Consulting. Better business, better dentistry. They are a practice management and consulting firm for dentists and other healthcare-related businesses. Their sole purpose is to implement proven strategies through online and practice visits that result in the personal and professional success of the dentist and his or her team.
This is Jeramie Eimers, VP of Practice Finance at US Bank. We have been making an impact on the dentists that we work with and our community for over 25 years. If you're looking for a dental financial expert that understands the dental marketplace and actually listens to you and puts your needs first, then contact me.
So take me through this piece. So I'm a new client. I almost said new patient. I'm a new client. I'm going to be working with you. Take me through your new client experience, Jeramie.
Yeah. So the new client experience, for us is really from A to Z. Again, I'll work with the customer from start to finish. And the big thing is we just don't have banker hours. That terminology is behind us. They can call any time of the day. They can text any time of the day. It can be on the weekend. It can be during the week. So we're here to help them accomplish what they are. And the reality is they're seeing patients all day.
Yes.
And we know that, and we understand their schedules. We understand their business inside and out. And oftentimes, even on the financial side, much better than they do. Most dentists are able to go to dental school, but a lot of dental schools do not require them to have any business classes. So at times we're educating and training and helping them through that process of what to look for and when it comes to ratios and dollars and numbers and to make sense. But to the patient experience and what they expect, the big thing in today's market is we're able to help them with not only the practice loan that they may have come to us with, but we're able to save them money on their merchant or refinance other debt that they have. We have, a wealth of products available to them, and we just look and annualize where they're currently at, what they currently have, and if they have something that's better, by all means, we don't advise to move away from those. But oftentimes it makes sense, and we can save them money or get better return on their investment, with our investment products or whatever that may be. U.S. Bank also has the relationship with ADA, American Dental Association, on the credit card. So that's another product that we have the ability to help them with through the process.
And those are the ability to kind of answer question A, B, C, and D. And yes, we have a product for A, B, C, D, and E. We don't just do this. So I have to send you over to Connecticut, or I have to send you over to New Zealand or somewhere else to get that taken care of for you.
Absolutely. It really becomes a one-stop shop for all their financing needs in the end, if they want to take advantage of all of those. And we're seeing more of that today with technology and banking from your phone. We have all the technology to help them, mobile deposits and not even have to go to the branches, which saves time and money.
Right. And it's an interesting piece when you talk about a new client or bringing on a new patient. If you're the dental practice, one of the things that we try to teach the dentist to do when you bring on a new patient is find out who this person is. And the best way to do that is you ask good questions. And you've been talking about that so far throughout this whole podcast. And it's about questioning and finding out people. And when you ask people questions, they're like, wow, Jeramie actually kind of cares about me. He's actually taking an interest in me. I mean, holy smokes, this is a new experience for me.
Yeah. And I think what most people appreciate the most is their time is money for them.
Oh, yeah.
So valuable. So they don't have time to waste talking to someone that's not an industry expert and wait for their call back or a text back and play the phone tag game. They want answers immediately. And that's the biggest value, biggest difference that we can provide them. And then also just provide that advice to help them through that process. So really making it efficient. And, it's just a huge relief off their shoulders. You don't know how many times after the first conversation, they're just relieved and the pressure is off of them when they have talked to somebody that has done thousands and over $1 billion in lending in their space. It's, they know they found a resource that can really help them through that process.
It's nice to just be able to go, okay, this person can help me. I've called 4 other idiots today, but guess what? This guy's going to be able to help me. Yes. Okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I've sat in on those conversations and they literally do that because I watch them. They just, okay.
The Dental Breakdown Show, sponsored by White & Associates Practice Consulting. Better business, better dentistry. They are a practice management and consulting firm for dentists and other healthcare-related businesses. Their sole purpose is to implement proven strategies through online and practice visits that result in the personal and professional success of the dentist and his or her team.
This is Jeramie Eimers, VP of Practice Finance at U.S. Bank. We have been making an impact on the dentists that we work with and our community for over 25 years. If you're looking for a dental financial expert that understands the dental marketplace and actually listens to you and puts your needs first, then contact me.
Give me this. So here, let's talk about this for a second. So the State of the Union, kind of like what's going on right now in the dental marketplace, trends that are taking place. Maybe talk a little bit about that real quick.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've witnessed a big shift. And again, doing this over 25 years, I've been able to witness it for a long time. I didn't read about it. I've been in it. We witnessed a big shift in the industry over 10 years ago, with software, technology, systems, and structures. Practices are larger. There's more multiple practice ownership today, and there's an increase in multiple location ownerships. The DSO market has contributed to the multiple ownership structures as doctors are trying to find ways to maximize their practice values. And with this, transaction sizes have increased. and so have the number of lenders in the space. Right now, I think it's around 30% of the total market share is owned by DSOs, dental support organizations. And just a few years ago, that was 20%. What will it be in 10 or 20 years? Time will tell, right?
Right.
A majority of the market is still owned by individual dentists, which is great. With the cost of practices increasing, materials, equipment, dental practice ownership, we're seeing more owners take ownership at an earlier age, an earlier stage in their career. And so there's still a large opportunity for us to help the majority of those doctors that are out there. And but definitely a big switch with the size of transactions and the number of multiple owner practices.
Mm-hmm.
And really the positive to that is it's allowing doctors to have that work-life balance, because when they have multiple owners all under one roof, it becomes a more efficient practice. And then it allows those doctors to take time off and spend it with their family.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's been a really positive trend in the recent years.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you this, Jeramie. So with all the dentists that you work with, in today, in today's marketplace, what are the top 2 or 3 problems that they're dealing with that they comment to you about? I have to deal with this, I have to deal with this, or I have to deal with this. What are you seeing in terms of that?
Yeah, I would say as of recently since COVID, it's staffing.
Yeah.
Depending on where they're located at, getting, staffing is difficult, especially in the rural markets, where people are, there's just less options for them.
Mm-hmm.
And that seems to be I would say the biggest challenge right now is just staffing issues across the board.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is a challenge. It's some offices, if you lose a hygienist, you're just not going to find another one. Because we're seeing, some offices where the dentist is, he or she is doing their own hygiene now.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you're in the rural communities, I'm in South Dakota, and there's doctors that are serving 4 or 5 different communities, and that, it may be a 60-mile radius or even larger that patients are driving in. And if if a hygienist decides to retire or end their career earlier, it's hard to get people to move into those communities, towns of 1,000 people, if they're not from that area. So that's going to continue to be a challenge. We are seeing more hygiene and assistant schools popping up, and I hope that alleviates some of those issues. And it's not just dental that's having that problem, right? We know that and we see that, but again, it is impacting this market and industry.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I agree with you. I'm watching that across the board. That's not just in the Midwest, that's everywhere where that's happening. That was great. Thank you very much for that. So now I'm going to ask you a question. So Jeramie Eimers, okay? This is the part of the podcast. Everybody loves this part, Jeramie. Okay. So get ready. Okay.
All right.
Jeramie Eimers, tell us, some things about you that people may not know about you. I mean, yes, you're this all-world banker, and you've done a lot of great things, and you've helped thousands of dentists, which is true, and you've impacted a lot of lives. So in terms of, so when you go home at night or when you're on the weekends, tell us a little bit about, some things that are outside of the banking world.
Absolutely. So I'm a big believer in giving back, number
Mm-hmm.
one. So I'm part of a lot of nonprofit boards, and I spend a lot of time giving back to my community, school, and et cetera. I also serve in the Air National Guard. I re-enlisted 2 years ago, attended Air Force school for 2 months in Keesler Air Force Base. So now I am fully trained in Air Force finance. And in a little over 3 years, I'll have my 20 years and be able to retire a veteran from the Air National Guard. So that's something unique.
Mm-hmm.
In addition to that, I'm also involved with the T American Legion. I volunteer and do color guard for honor flight troops that are flying to Washington, D.C. And I coach high school youth wrestling, and I also officiate at college and high school wrestling. So,
wow,
I stay busy.
You do. I mean, I don't think I'll see you in front of the television watching football anytime soon.
There's always time for football.
I like that. That was the right answer, Jeramie. I like that.
Absolutely.
Jeramie, this has been a blast. Thank you so much for being a guest on the Dental Breakdown Show today.
Yeah, thank you again for having me. I've truly enjoyed it, and I really appreciate it.
So if our listeners, if they want to learn more about you and they were or more about practice finance, where can they go to get more information?
Yes, I can be contacted by phone or text at 605-360-4856. Again, 605-360-4856, or by email at jeramie.eimers@usbank.com. And that's spelled JERAMIE EIMERS@usbank.com.
Thank you for listening to the Dental Breakdown Show with Christian White. If you would like more information about today's topic, have a topic suggestion, or would like to be a guest, please check out the description below. Or for more videos, podcasts, and information, please visit whitedentalconsulting.com/podcast. If you liked the podcast today, please press that like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification icon to become a part of the growing Dental Breakdown Show community.